Lincoln. But I told Juju one of the things I think that's made it so much more dominant, especially with the other schools in this area, is you've got younger kids in these wrestling clubs. Middle schools have started wrestling programs, and now you've got kids that, regardless of your size, wrestling's one of those that you compete against your own.
Yep, that's exactly it. There are people that are more smart, know more about the clubs and how the middle school. I just have not gotten into that area, but that's what I continue to hear is the wrestling clubs that have been able to. It's not just with Ford just a few guys or Bandy's just a few guys. Each of these, especially Ford, they have depth. Where if somebody goes down, there's another guy that could start on another team that's ready to take a place. So. Ford will lose, if memory serves me right, they only lose 3 seniors. They have the other 11 coming back next year. So you're going to see Ford again. Bandy's has a little bit more of a loss. You'll see them, but it's not that you're just building a few guys. The clubs and the middle schools, it's the depth that they're building and the competition to be able to get on the mat and start. It is tremendous.
Hey, Mark, let's switch sports for a second if you can. Basketball state playoffs start this week. Give us kind of a preview of some of those teams the teams to watch. I know Hickory is a number 1 seed, I guess, in the West.
Yep.
Daniel Willis, 25 years ago, he was on the team for the Red Tornadoes, leading them to a state championship appearance. Find it ironic now he's coaching the Red Tornadoes. Are they one of the favorites maybe to make a run of the playoffs this year?
Yeah, and I think I did not get to see as much hoops because I did so much of the wrestling this year. But what I saw a good bit of the Christmas tournament and just watching things on the NFHS feed. I think what's interesting for Hickory for me is the Hickory boys is the one loss they had to East Lincoln is if you could get Hickory into a half-court game, you could beat them. When they played the finals of the Dick Sporting Goods Classic at CBCC, they matched up against Alexander Central with Ed Wills, who gets so much out of those kids in Alexander Central and is just a tactician as far as working a half-court game and getting teams to slow down that don't want to slow down. Well, Hickory figured out how to play that game and was able to put together their pressing defense, full court, half court, 3-quarter, change it up, and basically get Alexander Central out of what they were comfortable with. So Hickory being able to, at least for me, being able to play a half court game better and defend well makes them more dangerous. Plus, they're a year older than the team that went to the quarterfinals last year. I think what hurt them last year was, if you remember the COVID season, they had football that had come on at the same time, that had overlapped. They were into the playoffs and then the football season had started, and you had guys that were playing both sports, and they got to that round and they were spent. To score 18 points in a quarterfinal game, I just think those guys were just beat because they were stretched so thin. So I think a year from those guys coming back and having that experience, and that probably sticks in their craw a little bit, I would expect them to make a deeper run. The Greensboro teams always seem to be at least in 3A, the teams to watch out for. But the Hickory should be in a better, at least for me, they should be in a better shape because they simply can play a half-court game if they have to.
Gotcha.
I know our guys do a Saturday morning show. They were talking about it, and it's hard to believe this because you're not used to hearing it, but one of the teams that will have to come to Hickory if they can advance is West Charlotte. And you don't think about West Charlotte being in the 3A ranks, but they are with this realignment. West Charlotte has always been noted as one of the top basketball programs in Mecklenburg County. And when you talk about sports in Mecklenburg County, it's kind of a different animal anyway.
I think if they make it against
third
West
round,
Charlotte, it'd be Saturday.
Yeah, it'd be a Saturday night game.
And the Thursday night game, they're going to play one of those Greensboro teams, Dudley, I believe, which has always been a strong.
But I had forgotten about it. to be very honest, to be truthful, I've not seen the bracket that close because I was so tied up in the wrestling until Saturday night. Then I had to finish the story Sunday afternoon, and then working all day. But yeah, you're right with West Charlotte. I remember seeing, they had some classic games with Ardrey Kell in the 4A and for several years. So yes, obviously West Charlotte is a team to watch out for. But it always seems like the Greensboro teams are the teams that give Hickory problems. But if Hickory can get up and down the floor like they normally can, but play a half-court game if they have to, I think they're in a better situation.
Hey, I want to get back to wrestling. One final question about wrestling, Mark. Atmosphere. Tell our listeners and viewers what kind of atmosphere at the state tournament. What's it like if they've never been?
I'm going to even back up. If you get a chance to go to a regional, because usually one of the teams around here will host a regional. Ford, Bandy's this year, Newton and Conover has in several years. West Lincoln
had one this year.
Okay.
210 kids, if I'm not mistaken.
And you go to a regional, dual regional. It just you start to get a sense of that with the smaller gyms and the wooden bleachers, and everybody's packed in. You've got 4 teams all trying to get to eliminate each other to get to the dual final. It really, that's just an amped up version of what you see on a normal night, match by match. State tournament wise, you have, especially on Saturday. Saturday's just a fabulous day. For the 3 days, you have 10 mats that are laid out, going full board, starting at 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon, going till they'll wrestle. Each classification will do a round. And then Friday, they do the quarterfinals, and then you have all the consolation. I mean, it's going from 9 a.m. until they finish the semifinals, 8, 9 o'clock at night. Saturday starts at 9 a.m. They do the blood round and the consolations, and then they do the parade at 4 o'clock of all the champions that are about to wrestle. 14 bouts, 14 weight classes, 4 mats spread out for the championship. And you do the parade, and you get everything started, and the lower bowl, except for the ends, are just packed. They're full. Then you have the club level, the thin tier club level that's ringed with people, and it's just a tremendous atmosphere. Being able to see all the fans, and they're all there for from dozens and dozens and dozens of school. They're all there to support their programs and to support their kids. Our area really travels well. Bandy's and Ford and Bunker Hill this year. I'm going to come back to Bunker Hill in a second when I finish this. If you are a sports fan, this is an event you need to go to. Just pure sports. Even if you know nothing about it, the atmosphere and the passion of the fans, it's just a highlight for me every year to do it. I just love it. I want to come back to Bunker Hill if I could just for a moment, because it's a program you don't hear a lot about, and there was some surprise of them finishing second, because dual wise they had holes, and I think there were 10 and 18 in duals. They had no shot at getting to that. But this is the classic classic case of where you have a team that's not very good with dual because they aren't able to fill all the holes in the weight classes. But they had 3 or 4 kids that had been there to the tournament for the last 2-3 years. They had some other kids that were building up, and you could see that program that if things fell right for them, that they were going to make a deep run. I could see it in January, and by gosh, Michael Mays got those kids together. They had one kid that was a 9 seed in the regional make the tournament, and you get a little magic in that format, and you make things happen. And Bunker made a good run for a while. They didn't quite have the horses as Bandy, but for that program to finish second, keep an eye on Bunker Hill in the next couple of years. They really are not that far behind of being among the powers.
Mark Parker, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and you've educated Juju a little bit on wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, I knew the wrestling because I wrestled when I was in college. I officiated, and then I coached it a little bit when I was coaching in high school.
Let me sneak one question.
Sure.
In. He covers baseball with the Crawdads.
Yep.
Mark has all these opinions, and I respect a lot of the things he says. I see him online. Mark, what's your sense? Is this lockout going to end this week?
No.
Okay.
I've been, when the COVID season happened, and the two sides couldn't agree on the number of games. It would not surprise me if we missed the first month or two of the season. There are some fundamental differences, at least from what I've seen and what I've read. There are fundamental differences on what the two sides want, and that's going to take a long time to hash out, I think.
Yeah.
I could see games being missed into May. I just do.
You know, there's a scouting friend that you and I both know that live in Hickory. He lives in Hickory, and I bumped into him yesterday at the grocery store, and he seems to think he's heard from his scouting friends higher on up in the chain that the commissioner for baseball, Rob Manfred's trying to break the union, trying to bust the union up, and he says that they may not have baseball for most of the spring, if not all the way into midsummer. I hope it's not. Hope it's not that bad.
But what folks need to remember is the minor leagues will still be playing.
Oh yeah,
because their kids are not union, and they will be playing. So go see the Crawdads, go see the Tourists, go down to Greenville, see the Drive, and go see the kids play.
Yeah,
they'll be there.
My follow up to that: does this give baseball a bigger black eye than it did the last time?
I think so.
I think that there's going to be irrevocable damage this time that they can't get back.
I think there was irrevocable damage the last time, and there's just too many more things in the internet age and with gaming, esports, and different things that people are going to move on. I just do.
Yeah.
Mark Parker, thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us, and look forward to talk with you again.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
I agree, and a couple of comments came in while Mark was on, and I was going to bring this up. Hobbs said Dudley may well not be an automatic because they've got to play North Iredell, which is in the same conference as Hickory. And Stephen Lowe said, baseball, get over it. Let's play. It ain't going to happen. They're going to lose fans. They're going to lose a ton of fans. And he also said it's a huge black eye for baseball.
Yeah, I don't care who wins, who whatever.
It's millionaires fighting with billionaires, and nobody got time for that.
I'm more interested in them fixing the game. If whoever wins, and even if they sign the deal tomorrow, and if the game is going to look the same on the field, the way it's been going, 3.5, 4 hour games.
Yeah,
that's not going to be good.
No,
they got to fix the game.
I agree. Any on this days?
Yeah, I got a few.
All right, let me give you this first. Washington Hall of Fame wide receiver, and I'm trying to remember the first name. Is it Charlie Taylor? Passed away today.
Yeah,
at the age of 80.
Came in as a running back. Started as a running back with the old Redskins, and then they moved him to wide receiver. And I don't remember what year in the mid-'60s. But, yeah, Charlie Taylor, number 42. There were some good number 42s back
First 3 seasons as a halfback.
Okay.
Rushed for 1,400 yards and had 2,500 yards receiving over those 3 seasons before becoming a full-time receiver in 1967.
You had Charlie Taylor, John Gilliam. Who was the other great number 42? I'm thinking of, Paul Warfield.
Yeah.
All those guys, they all wore 42s. They almost copied each other. And they were all almost the same kind of players.
Okay, now I'll let you do your own this day.
All right. 1968, speaking of baseball, an agreement between the players and club owners to increase minimum salary. I want to take a guess on the minimum salary in 1968.
In what sport?
Baseball. Minimum salary.
$75,000.
No, waste $10,000.
$10,000.
$10,000.
Bring those people back and put them in charge.
That's about what minor leaguers get paid right now for 5 or 6 months. That's what pretty much A-ball minor leaguers get. 1985 NBA attendance record set in a game between Atlanta and Detroit. $44,970 for an NBA regular season game. 1986, Jimmy Connors fined $20,000 and suspended 10 weeks when he threw a fit, got upset, threw his, his tennis racket in a match against Yvonne Lendl.
Jimmy Connors.
He didn't throw a punch. He didn't reach over and do a scrum punch like old Mr. Howard did with Michigan. Anyway, 1931, first Major League Baseball night game. It was an exhibition. White Sox and Giants made history back in 1931. Ted Williams, we remember the splendid Splinter. He was a manager at one time. With
For the Senators.
Yeah, the Washington. You have that in front of you probably.
Yeah,
anyway,
I cheated.
Okay. On this day, 1969, he signed his first 5-year contract to be manager of the Senators. And in 1982, thought it interesting with all this gambling stuff going on with all these companies, Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle suspended Major League Baseball for appearing with any kind of baseball activities, signing autographs or anything, because they had been, I guess, signing autographs at a casino in New Jersey and in Las Vegas. So baseball did not want them to be associated with anything in terms of gambling or casinos, so they suspended them, I think, for like 3 or 6 months.
Wow.
And nowadays, it's you turn on the TV.
Oh, I know.
You got the announcers and the players promoting gambling.
Yes.
It's changed a lot.
1948, NASCAR was incorporated.
Oh.
1951, South Carolina House Representatives urged Shoeless Joe Jackson be reinstated by Major League Baseball.
Wow.
And that's never happened, correct? He's still banned.
Yeah.
1953, the longest collegiate basketball game, 6 overtimes. Niagara beat Siena, 88-81. Do you remember speed skater Eric Heiden?
I do.
1980.
I do.
He wins the 1,500 meter in the Olympics, 4th of a record 5 gold medal sweep at Lake Placid.
Yeah. That's the only other thing I remember.
Lake Placid had no snow when the Olympics started. They were really hard up for snow. I was in school with Appalachian. We had a Cherokee Indian come to the old Seven Devils, now Ski Hawk's Nest. No, it's a tubing place now, and do a snow dance. Well, it didn't work for Lake Placid, but we got 18 inches.
Oh, wow.
18 inches of snow. They had a big party out there.
It worked for the U.S. hockey team. They beat Russia and went on to win
That's
the
right.
gold medal
Yep.
1980. So it must have had some impact.
Speaking of gambling, 1989, Charlie Hustle meets with Commissioner Uberall to discuss his gambling in 1989. The Olympics have closed, in case anybody cares. I just did not get into it at all. At all.
It was the time difference.
I guess. In 2016, at the 58th Daytona 500, which was run yesterday, Denny Hamlin wins the closest finish in race history over Martin Truex Jr. 1/100th of a second.
That's what? A half a fender?
That's quick. That's quick. That's all I can say. You got any birthdays?
I did not get any birthdays.
No birthdays.
No birthdays today.
Let's see. If we got any. How about Michael Jordan showing up at the All-Star game?
I missed that.
I didn't watch that either. I'm not into either one of those. Let's see if I got any birthdays out here right quick. Jack Ramsey, American Hall of Fame basketball coach, was born to stay in 1925.
He had wore a lot of those jackets and pants that had the checkers and bright.
Like Norm Sloan?
Yeah.
Norm Sloan was big
similar.
into that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terry Allen, NFL running back, played for the Vikings and the Redskins, born to stay in 1968.
Talking about a defensive coach, defensive-minded coach, NFL, besides Tomlin, Belichick. Can you name another that's been semi-successful?
Head coach.
Semi-successful, and he's also a minority.
Ron Rivera.
There you go.
Yeah, Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
I think that's hurt him too. That and Marty. Just a personal opinion. It's just the way I am.
If he gets a franchise quarterback, they may be better.
I don't have any birthdays. Sorry. Have a great day. For Rembert and I will see you in the morning. Thanks for coming in today.
Hey, it's been a pleasure.
Appreciate the effort.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Y'all have a good evening. I'll see you in a couple hours.